Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Bishop's Office series, where one of the ministers introduces something unique, either about the temple or about a teaching. And my name is Reverend Hirosato Yoshida, and I am here at Soto Mission of Hawaii, Betsuin Shoboji. And I'll be kind of going over a little bit of history and something like that to get all of you more familiar with our temple here located on New Wanu Avenue in Honolulu, Hawaii. So let's get started. So as you can see, this is the entrance to our temple. We have a beautiful temple. This temple was built in 1953, and it has a shape of an Indian temple. The design comes from one of the temples in India or Nepal where Shakyamuni Buddha said to have been born. And it comes from the Buddha Gaya, one of the temples there. And as you can see, it has two towers to the left and the right, and a main stoop tower in the center. And this is very familiar or similar to the way things are built in India. And the reason why this temple was built in such way is one of the main issues about all of this is, what is Buddhism? And that was one of the main idea that I want to explore with you today by looking at the history here. So let's get inside and we can talk more about it. There's a lot of traffic here, so it might be a little noisy. So come, let's go in, okay? So as you can see, it has the two towers on the left and the right, and we call them, on the left side here, it's called Hasshokaku. Hasshokaku in Japanese, Hassho is the eightfold path. And both of them, as you can see, it's an octagon shape. So each corner represents the eight noble truths. And this is why on the left side, we call it the Makai side of the Hasshokaku. And on this side is the Mauka side. So we call it the Mauka Hasshokaku. And then on the left here, we have Soto Academy. Soto Academy is elementary school, private elementary school that's from kindergarten to 5th grade. And they have a playground here. And also, as you can see over here, that's a Bodhi tree. And it's one of the Bodhi tree that is said to have come from the original Bodhi tree that Shakyamuni Buddha had meditated in Buddha Gaya. So let's go in. There's a lot of interesting things that you can see as we enter the hall. So this is the main entrance. And as soon as you come into the main entrance, you'll see this grand, beautiful calligraphy. And it reads on here, Soto Shu Betsuin. And this is a kanji for Shoboji. And Shoboji is the name of this temple. So, if you come on the left, we have the Hasshokaku, the Makai Hasshokaku, as you can see over here. Makai Hasshokaku currently is being used by our Fujinkai. Then you go this way to the right. On the right side is the Mauka Hasshokaku, and currently this room is being used by the bishop's office. And if you go straight this passage, we have the office, temple office, and we have the honor scrolls. These are different kind of scrolls. For instance, this one is the centennial, the Rokujizo project. I'll show you what our Rokujizo is later on. but the people who have generously donated, their names are being here. And this one is another, was a temple repair and improvement project done in 1999 to 2001, and so forth. We have on this side as well. This one is also the centennial. And then we have I believe this one was the elevator construction that we have right out this door here. Now let's go in. So as you can see, this temple is very, very large. It fits 384 people at one time. But unfortunately, with the COVID-19, we had to, keep the 6 feet social distancing and cleaning and all of that. So the capacity, of course, with the state regulation, it's a lot less. But if we were to pack everyone here, we should be able to fit about 300 and I believe 84 individuals to the temple. And as we come to the front, this is the main altar. As you can see here, all the way in the back, we have the Kannon Bodhisattva. This is the 11-faced Kannon Bodhisattva representing all the directions, showing that her love and compassion can be seen. She can see and hear all the different type of people seeking for her help. And that's the representation. If you look closer, you'll see on top of her main face, right on top of her main face, there's the other 10 faces or the heads that are facing different directions. And also, right in the front, I don't know if you can see it, maybe we can go a little closer later on, but we have our Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay. So this temple, the little history. Let's go to the bishops. So these are the different bishops that have served Soto Mission of Hawaii here at Betsuin. The first is Reverend Hosen Isobe. See? He is the founder of this temple, and he came to Hawaii in February 24, 1913. And this temple here was built, not this specific temple here, because this temple moved 3 times, but the first temple, which was called the Yakushi Hall, was located in the corner, I believe, in Hall Street and Britannia. And it was first established by another reverend called Reverend Ryogo Mitsunaga. He was ordained by Reverend Ryogun Kang of Kauai Soto Zen Buddhist Temple, Zen Shuji. And he was determined to build a temple in Honolulu. However, unfortunately, in 1912, just before he was able to open, he passed away. And he had asked the second reverend at Waipahu Taioji, Reverend Okada of Waipahu Taioji, to help him figure out how he would be able to go on, and ask him for his support to continue to build the temple even after he has passed away. And that's when Reverend Okada was able to ask Reverend Hosen Isobe from Yamaguchi Prefecture to come to Hawaii and propagate the teachings of Soto Zen here. Now, the next bishop is Reverend or Bishop Zenkyo Komagata. He has been serving this temple for the longest, I believe, and he is also our current bishop, Bishop Shugen Komagata's grandfather. Then the third resident minister, or the bishop, is Bishop Zenshu Komagata, and he is Bishop Komagata, our current Bishop Shugen Komagata's father. And then the fourth is Reverend Koryu Oyama. Then Reverend or Bishop Ryokei Matsuura. Then our previous former bishop, Bishop Jiko Machida, and we have Bishop Shugen Komagata currently taking care of this temple as the head priest and also the bishop of Soto Mission. Now, this temple, I said, was the third temple that was located here. So first temple was located in Hall Street, and it was called the Yakushido. And it was then moved by Reverend Hosen Isobe in 1921 to the second location, which was the corner of School Street and New Wanu. And in 1953, it was again moved to this location. And I believe one of the reasons why we had to move was the building, or they were constructing the H1 freeway. And fortunately, we were able to move closer to this area. But also, an interesting note to know is that this area, from what I was told from Bishop Komagata, is that in the past, almost all of the different Buddhist temples were located in this area. So if you go across the street on Pali, we have Honpa Honganji. Of course, that's not their first location as well, but we have over there. And then Nichiren Mission, currently all the way up by Honolulu Country Club, I believe, or was it Oahu Country Club? Up Nuuanu. That's not their first location either. They used to be located right around the back of the Nuuanu Shopping Center. For those of you who are kind of old-timers, know where Hungry Lion used to be. Currently, it's the Starbucks. They're located a little bit behind that, the street there. So a lot of the temples were around here, and that's probably the reason why we have the Japanese consulate right 2 doors down here. So this area, I would say, was very populated by the Japanese American or the Japanese Issei and Nisei community back in the days. So now I want to show you to another place, which is the No-Kotsu-do. So normally, only ministers are going to be coming through here. But if you go through here, we have the No-Kotsu-do. So this is our No-Kotsu-do. We have a lot of flowers, and we're also believe that there's not that much temple that allow the real flowers. So we are one of the very few, I believe, in Honolulu that actually are allowing live flowers to be dedicated to your loved ones. Sorry if I'm wrong about that. But I believe all the Soto temples do allow real flowers. Anyways, so this over here, I don't know if you can see it well, is the urn of the first minister who had tried to build the temple, the Yakushido, Reverend Ryogo. Reverend Ryogo Mitsunaga. So he is being tributed and is here. And this is Ojizo-sama, our main Buddha of the Kannon, the columbarium or No-Kotsu-do is our Ojizo-sama. But what's very different, not different, but unique, and something that not much people know about is this Buddha here. This is Yakushi-sama, Oyakushi-sama. And Oyakushi-sama is a Buddha that's for curing diseases. So if you look at his hand, I don't know if you can see it, he's holding a little pot. And that pot is something where we have the medicine. So he's a Buddha of medicine. Right now, with the COVID, let us hope that our yakushi-sama or yakushi-sama can help our members throughout the state to be healthy and safe. But this is the founder or the foundation Buddha that this temple began with. So it's a very historical and an important Buddha. And like the other one, it's not inside these houses or it's not in the middle. So not many people know about it, but I was told by Bishop Komagata that this is the original Buddha. So it's a very, very important and significant Buddha to our history. And on the right are all the deceased minister or the bishop that have served this temple. So if you're not from Betsuin, but if you're from Ea or any other temples, try and look at, see if you can find the ihai of your past ministers. Like in Waipahu, if you go to their kannondo, or, kaisando, which is your columbarium, they have these ihai for all the past ministers who have passed away. So now, only ministers who have passed away are here. Those who are still alive, we don't have any ihai, just like your ancestors. So if you come this way, we have in alphabetical order all the different types of family ihai, and these are individual niches for family members. Yes. Okay, so let's move on. Now, we can also go for the public. This is going to be your entranceway to your no-gotsudo, but we'll go through here. And I do want to show you something closer up. So this is our Kannon Bodhisattva, and you can see, if you look on her head, we have more heads. And then these are the 33 kannon from the pilgrimage. And we do this Osunafumi service once a year, and we take all of them down and we lay them across the hall. And we have a pilgrimage. And if you have never come, please do so. It's a very, very unique service. And this year, because of the COVID, we did have it filmed. So if you go to our homepage, go to our live stream, you can check that out as well. We should have a video recording of that. Now, something very unique that you don't see too often. This is the Soto Shu crest. So as you can see, we have the Eihei-jimon here, and then the Soji-jimon. So if you look over here, this is Eihei-ji, and this is Soji-ji. So Eihei-ji and Soji-ji are the two head temples of Soto's mission. And this is very unique because it's very, very historical in a sense that we no longer put one crest over another. And this is because, we humans are very ignorant, and we think that things that are on top are better than the ones on the bottom and things like that. So this had a little bit of controversy. So in Japan, we no longer do it. But this was made prior to that. So you can see how much history even this itself has. And that's something very unique that we have here at Soto Mission of Hawaii. And then you have, this is the Doan and Ino. This is where the assistant minister will be chanting. And in the back, we have here Dogen Zenji. Turn it on. So this is Dogen Zenji here. And then on this side, we have Keizan Zenji. So Dogen Zenji on the right side is the founder of Eiheiji, and Keizan Zenji here is the founder of Sojiji. And if you look at, I believe, Reverend Hata's sermon, he talks more in depth about Keizan Zenji. So those are just a few things that are very unique to us here at Betsuin. Now, I do want to talk about, I think I've mentioned earlier, why is this temple looking like an Indian temple and not a Buddhist temple, like a Japanese Buddhist temple that typically you might imagine? And this is because of the time, I think. This is my perspective and my thought as well, and something that I've researched and learned from different books of the history of Soto Mission and also the immigrant history. But Japanese, unfortunately, due to the World War II, had to make, unlike the other, I believe, more than the other immigrants, had to make a decision whether or not they are going to be Japanese or American. And through that revolutionary moments, I think a lot of our people who stayed in Hawaii chose to be Japanese American, Japanese ancestry, but an American. And throughout that revolution of, I would say, time, there was another important thing, which was the Hawaii Buddhist Council, which is composed of 7 different sects, main sects of the Kamakura period Buddhism, which is Soto Shu, Nichiren Shu, Tendai Shu, and then you have Honpa Honganji, Higashi Honganji, and Shingon, Koyasan Shingon Mission, and Jodo Mission. So these are the 7 sects that are part of the Hawaii Buddhist Council. And in one of those recent years, there was a movement on trying to make Buddhism or Buddha's birthday, just like Christmas, a national holiday or federal holiday. But unfortunately, that did not work or take place, which is April 8th. However, through these different communities and different other Buddhist organizations, besides even Japanese Buddhist organization, there was one important thing that we all considered. What is Buddhism, right? Is that because we're here practicing, in a way, saying Japanese Buddhism, but is the people who practice here, their Japanese ancestry, they have an ancestry in Japanese or Japan, but why are we stuck with practicing it in Japanese way? And that was the reason why they came to understand that perhaps Buddhism, where's the origin of Buddhism? And that goes to India and Nepal, where Buddha was born. And that is the reason why instead in 1953, when they built this temple, it was being built and it was, the ceremony was in 1953, but the reason why it was built in such a way is to express that we might be practicing Japanese Buddhism, but Buddhism is a world religion. And it's something that's not limited, and it's not something that we should limit ourselves to expand and help those that are not Japanese as well. And this is the reason why came back to the foundation or the basic of Buddhism, which is where is Buddhism from? And it's from India. And this is the reason why the temple is not looking like a Japanese temple. And also, as you can see, we have pews, which are Western. And here it's not like tatami, it's carpet. And even in our sutra books, we have a lot of things that are both gathas, English, we sing in English, we chant in Japanese and in English, and a lot of these are all translated to English. And if you look at any of the history books of the immigrants, as you can see, Reverend Hosen Isobe here is not wearing a robe. He's actually wearing a suit. So you can see that a lot of the ministers in the earlier pioneer ministers did not preach as Japanese so that they could be more part of the community of the Western people. So before, one more thing that I do want to show you is our Centennial Rokujizo project. And this is a project that was initiated by Bishop Komogata, our current chief priest, for our centennial project, which was in 2013, because our history begins in 1913. So if you go down from the office over here, if you come down, we have the Rokujizo right over here. So each of these Rokujizo represent different realms. Then you have the human realm, the heaven realm, the hell realm, the hungry ghost realm, you have the animal realm, and the last is the war or anger in these kind of realms. And all of them represent one of those realms here. And this Rokujizo is called Hoko Jizo. Hoko means illuminating the light of the Jizo Bosatsu. And it was dedicated by the Archbishop of Sojiji in 2013 in our centennial celebration, Archbishop Shinzan Zenji. So this is a little bit of an important monument that we built for our centennial. And this is our little Japanese garden here and here. And just want to kind of quickly show you that we do have our social hall down here. Right over here. Let me see if I can get my keys. So this is our social hall. During the daytime or the weekdays, Soto Academy uses this place for cafeteria, and we also have different activities. A lot of the things at the temple has been a little on hold due to the COVID, but prior to that, here we would have Aikido. We would also have Kumon using this place, and also Japanese archery, Kyudo, that was practicing here. And in the back, we have what we call a meeting room. And there we would have things like tea ceremony. We would also have calligraphy, Japanese traditional dancing, like Hanayagi style. We would also have Zazenkai up on the altar. But a lot of it has kind of been on hold due to COVID-19. Okay, so that was a quick tour. I don't know if you were able to understand, but I hope that you were able to get into a little bit of the deeper end of the history of this temple and the significance of the roots of this Soto Mission of Hawaii here at Nuuanu Avenue here in Honolulu. And just to let you know, we have more temples here on the island. We have 3 more, one in Aiea, one in Waipahu, and one in Wahiawa. And we also have on the neighbor island, Kauai, Molokai, Maui, and 2 on Big Island, and also a Zen center on the Big Island as well in Hilo. And all of the ministers around the islands are giving our Dharma talk or introducing their temple. So I hope you enjoyed my episode, and I hope that you'll continue to watch the others. So let us say our 3 treasures as we say goodbye. We go to the Buddha for guidance. We go to the Dharma for guidance. We go to the Sangha for guidance. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Or we always have Sunday service every Sunday at 9:30. So please come by and say hello and attend our service. Thank you very much. And please be safe, and I hope to see you again soon.